Hi, my name's Dee, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to your new moon reading for the sign in the title below. Because it's a bulk introduction, which you don't have to watch every time, because I would say you really want to watch three of these. You want to watch your sun sign, which is the I am, your rising sign, which is how you are presenting to the world, what is happening in the outer world for you, and you want to watch your moon sign because, of course, it's the moon. It's a new moon. Of course, your moon sign would be relevant. Now, I'm not going to go in for long about the astrology of the new moon. There are plenty of astrologers who have done it far better than I ever could, and all of their shows are posted on my Facebook page for this channel, which link down below in the description. So if you're wanting to know about the astrology of it, you have plenty of astrologers to choose from on there. Suffice to say, it's big. It's a big full moon. There is a stellium in Aquarius. So what have we got? We've got Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, with Saturn ruling, in Aquarius. Now, it is not the age of Aquarius. I don't care what various people say. It is not the age of Aquarius, and as I've said before, the age of Aquarius will not begin until tropical, i.e. Western traditional 0 degrees Aries is the same position as sidereal Aquarius. At the moment, it isn't. 0 degrees Aries is sidereally some of 22, 21, 22, maybe 23 degrees Pisces. So there's a while yet. I think that's right. I think it's there's a 22 involved in there somewhere. But anyway, it's in Pisces. It is not in Aquarius. However, this is a really big time of Aquarius, and there's no shaking that. We have numerous planetary synodic cycles starting. Let me bring my details up. So we've got just this week alone, and there's been a fair amount over the past few weeks, but just this week alone, I mean, bear in mind, this is all under the Great Conjunction. But we have a new Venus-Saturn cycle starting. Obviously, a new Sun-Moon, but that's a monthly one. A new Sun-Mercury, that's quite frequent. A Venus-Jupiter synodic cycle starting, Mercury-Venus cycle, and Mercury-Jupiter. So, it's very much, this is a new time coming in. Without a shadow of a doubt, there's all these new, some of those were that's all a lot of the personal planets, the inner planets. So they're small cycles, but we've just had all the massive big cycles, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, I should say, Saturn, Pluto as well. So we know they all restarted before Christmas. Before Christmas? I think they were all before Christmas. I should know that off by heart, shouldn't I? I talked about every single one of them. Now, there is a timestamp below, so you don't have to watch this repeatedly. You only have to watch this on the first reading. It's well worth it. What I want to look at is the angels, the degree angels. Now, I never thought I'd going to be an angel person. But the degree angels are the Kabbalistic angels, who are very traditional, mighty and terrible. So, of course, I'm drawn to them like a moth to a flame. Now, this new moon, 23 degrees Aquarius, that's ruled by Menadel, who most people will be glad to know that he's great for job seeking. So if the economy and the virus and all the economy crash and what have you has affected you, now is a great time to ask for some help in job seeking and redesigning what you want to do next, because that's a lot of this Aquarius stuff. It will exhibit in community with an independent streak, which may sound like a bit of an oxymoron, but I think I've got my head around that idea. Um, so you, a lot of it is internal right now that you will be later putting into practice. But that is, so Menadel, let me bring up my details here. You'll have to forgive me, I am referring to notes. I don't know all this off by heart. Menadel, as a degree angel, is seen as fearless and presiding over inner and outer work. And there's definitely this theme of the inner and the outer work going on with everything, everything that I've been looking at to do with this. Now, Menadel has been active. Let's have a look. Menadel was active last March and April, which I think was, let me just double check this. I think that was Uranus. Yep, with Uranus at 5 degrees Taurus. And then there was obviously Mars arrived at 5 degrees Taurus in January. And now Menadel is ruling 23 degrees Aquarius. Those rulerships don't change. I know the way I phrase that, it makes it sound like they do change, but no, they don't change. Now, Menadel here is like everybody being ruled by Saturn, so being ruled in this case by Luvia. Saturn is the ruler of this chart. If you do rulership chains, everything leads back to Saturn, mainly because everything's in Aquarius. Of course, I'm using ancient rather than modern rulerships there. You could say everything also goes back to Uranus, but Saturn and Uranus are in square to one another anyway, and that is the flavour of this year. That tension, that tradition versus independence. Now, Luvia is all about dialing God and expansive intelligence or fruition, although I couldn't find any more information out from the Dictionary of Angels because he's not in there, or she's not in there. But what I actually want to look at is Mahasya. Now, Mahasya rules 22 degrees Capricorn. So as you know, that had a lot of activity this last year. So today, or rather on the new moon, Mahasya is ruling the North Node. So is being ruled by astrologically the angel Rael, who is representing Mercury, or Mercury's degree, but again, then in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, therefore ruled by Luvia in this chart. Now, Rael is about removing hatred, liberation. Rael helps to remove obstacles and impediments and to live in a universe without boundaries. Now, if that is not an Aquarius flavour, I don't know what is. So that also is just that one step less abstract than what Luvia is about. Luvia literally seems like it's channeling the divine plan that down into a way that not that we can understand, because we're never going to be able to understand that, but at least that something may be able to understand it. But Marcia, as I said, was in control of 22 degrees Capricorn. So last year, that's Menadel's history I'm looking at. Last year, Pluto was there. Jupiter crossed over it. Mars crossed over it very, very briefly. And basically, Mahasya was busy going from the 1st of January last year, because that's where my records start, that I've got programmed into my database. Then it was active from the 1st of the year to the 19th of January. From the 16th of March through to the 21st, again in July for a couple of days, then 5th and the 6th, and then the 10th of July, all the way through, and this will be through Pluto, Oh no, all the way through to the end of November, again on Christmas Day, again on New Year's Eve, I notice, and then, okay, my records aren't complete, but that's what I've managed to dig out so far. Mahasi has been doing a lot of work with the energies of Pluto, with, as that energy of Pluto was deconstructing and doing what Pluto does, Mahasya was adding her flavour to it. Then Jupiter crosses over, giving that boost to the Mahasya vibration. Then Mars. So giving that kick in the pants to the things that had already been set up. And now the North Node. This has all been constructing stuff regarding our density. Well, yeah, our density, if you speak New Age hippie stuff, but our destiny. Deconstructing things, reconstructing things, building things, changing structures, removing and rebuilding structures ready for this whole new time. Now, what is Mahasya's vibration? So Mahasya is about healing and rectification, setting things right. He's a seraph. He's part of the Sephirah of Kether, so that the highest Sephiroth, and he answers to Metatron, and he's a fire, represents fire. And planetary angels are Neptune and the Sun. His name means Saviour God, apparently. So this is what everything is slowly being built up. Hopefully that's expressing in all of us and all of our lives, where this Mahasya's energy is creating, building and moving and getting us to a place that is going to be better. That's the hope. I mean, obviously, it's reliant upon our cooperation to this, with this, and our openness to it. But it is really the way his focus has shifted from smashing things to now, okay, destiny, this way, I think is really quite beautiful. Now, what other information have I got about Mahasya here? He re-establishes the order of the divine in your life, makes it possible to live in total peace and joy, and to enjoy the simple things in life, and can help you into schools of learning where you can pursue forms of initiation. Now, that peacemaking energy is going to be very, very useful, because there's also all the divisions are being highlighted to us, but they are being highlighted because of this healing process. Now, what I want to look at is the symbols for 23 degrees Aquarius. So I'm going to start with the Sabian symbol, which is a man turning his back on passion and teaching from his own experience. So this is talking about someone who has been fighting their good fight, whatever it is, or having their obsession, and then all of a sudden they're suddenly going, I've learned so much from this, I have to pass this knowledge on. So they're transferring from, to be facile, but it would work in today's culture, from being an active social justice warrior to training active social justice warriors, would be one way of looking at it. I mean, you could replace active social justice warrior with carpenter, and oh no, that's still got that vibe, hasn't it? Okay, plumber, and it can, the message still holds true, but there's this sharing of information, this allowing those who don't know to find out and know, which I think, especially after focusing more on setting things right, we're going to need to know how to do lots and lots and lots of things. But what is really interesting is the inside degree, or the Chandra symbol. So we have a large brown bear picking and eating apples. It's like, okay, yeah, what? But the interpretation of this, I'm just going to read it straight out because you'll see why when I get towards the end of it. Gross indulgence and a conscience that just won't quit, saturating your energy field with exaggerated gestures of capitulation to your own lower nature. But you do this in a continual ironic juxtaposition to an observing intelligence and a keen conscience which deplore and have no use for your own shenanigans. So you're literally stuffing your face with chocolate while another bit of your brain is going, why are you eating all of that chocolate? It's not going to do you any good. So being split between the compulsive and addictive personality and the dispassionate and isolely removed consciousness. You're trying to turn yourself around by alternately binging and reforming, a bit like crash dieting. But each binge triggers a reaction of the other side of mind, and each renunciation and reformation in turn triggers a further reaction from the first piece of mind. This dialectic between being bad and being good is all on the pro and con level of the dualistic mind. The only hope in this pattern lies in wearing out both ends, so that a third place can open up in which neither acting out nor becoming exemplary is all that's necessary. You do what you do, and you see it the way that you see it. And all of the self-conscious overlays and each and every self-manipulation in whatever direction dissolve when the space is clear. So I know that I've mentioned on previous videos about how very divided we are in society nowadays. It doesn't matter where in the world that you look, there is divisions rampant, whether you want to say Democrat, Republican, Brexiteer, Remainer, look at Myanmar. But this energy, that symbol, that idea of wearing out both sides while we are learning how to do things better, because those who have a time to teach now are led to actually teach and teach everybody else, whether it is how to get in touch with your angels and how to get in touch with God, or how to sort out a septic tank and sort out your plumbing, or carve a chair, or recycle whatever, or change the way that you're fishing, farming, hunting, what have you. All of these things, the very structure of our economy, as we know with the virus, is under question at the moment. And so there is going to be, and there is already to a certain extent, if you look at the right websites and email newsletters and what have you, a absolute cacophony of good ideas about how to move forward. All of this under the watchful eye of Luvia, who, let me see, what was the phrase again? Who has an expansive intelligence, brings things to fruition, and knows how to dial God. So I would say that in itself is a superpower, So if you if you are a fixed sign, I've forgotten, where's my cheat sheet? Aquarius, let's have a look. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get it wrong. And it's not on my, fixed signs. Here you are, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, or Scorpio. On a basic mundane day-to-day level, you can expect to get affected by this stellium through conjunction, through square, through opposition. But pretty much it's going to affect all of us. This is a global thing. The last time this sort of stellium in Aquarius occurred was in 1962. And we know how pivotal the 60s were for creating a shift in our society, even if things seem to have shifted back since then. So if you are familiar with your chart, if you know your rising sign, and if you don't, there is a link, well, there's two links in the description down below for where to get a free birth chart. Have a look which house Aquarius sits in for you. I use whole sign houses, if that means anything to you. So for me, it's all in the 8th house. Or if you go by my sun sign, it's all in my 12th house. Oh, I'm expecting plenty of revelations coming along. And I must admit, my astrology studies have been just going, well, my degree angel studies, let's put it that way. I keep having moment after moment of, oh, I can do it this. Oh, I didn't think of looking at that. Oh, and what does this mean if I look at this? So there's like revelation after revelation already. And the new moon isn't even here yet. But there's whichever house you Aquarius is for you, that's where you can expect quite a bit of activity. If you've got natal planets in that area, opposite to that area, or basically in the cardinal signs, that will this stellium will have an immense personal effect. And again, that all sounds like random things, but go to the link Astroseek or Cafe Astrology in the description down below, and get yourself a birth chart, and hopefully you'll make more sense of if what I'm saying sounds a little obscure, because I'll hold my hand up. I'm only just starting to understand the houses in this last 6 months. Before then, I was just like, I don't know what they're talking about. Right, so I've done the saving symbol. I'm just checking my notes. So remember, this reading is a general reading. So general reading rules apply. It should mainly be there as a confirmation for you, or just something for you to mull over. What I would, never make your mind up on what I say. Just take it under advisement and then consider it, and then make your mind up, but don't just do it because I said do it. Even though I have already done a reading for this new moon where I'm telling somebody to just do it. But, it's still your choice, not mine. Now, what I would like you to do beforehand is ask a question. So especially really with this, ask a question that relates to how you interact with your community, or relates to obviously new moon, new beginnings, or entire new directions of life, because it's such a big event. This, unlike last year where it was event after event after event, this year, this is the pretty much biggest one. And other than Saturn square Uranus, but that's going on all year. So, there isn't like a whack bang like there is with this one. So take a moment, think about all of the questions that are around you. Focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer whatever they choose, and not necessarily what you or I think are the most priority of questions. So, as ever, please do the good YouTube stuff. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel really, really does help. Then again, so does the like button. But more importantly, comment. Let me know once I get to the reading, what you, if the reading is good for you. But also let me know what you think about my view of looking at the degree angels for the astrology, because, well, I'm going to keep doing it because I find it absolutely fascinating. But I want to know, should I just shut up about it and do it in private, or should I continue talking about this stuff as I get to learn more? Because, again, hold my hand up, I'm a total beginner at this. So, I think that's everything. So timestamp will be for now. And let's get on and have a look at your cards. So Aries, if you're Aries rising, then the new moon in this Aquarius stellium is occurring in your 11th house. And if you go by solar houses, same for you, Aries sun. Moon sign, now that it could be interesting. The 11th house is about friends, good luck, it's social occasions, and where the cosmos grants wishes, according to the little cards that I've got here. So there's a lot of energy and power going on. But first thing I want to draw you to is the current situation that you're in now. Seven of Swords, opposed by the Seven of Swords, feeling like Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. So, angel number 7777 for where you are right now. So I think that's important, and I still haven't printed out my cheat sheet for the angel numbers. So you'll have to look that one up yourself. So what I see at the moment is you're embarking on a course of action that you, to a point, you've segmented it in your mind. Now, I think you are coming up to a decision point. This is towards something that you have been planning for a while. This is not, it's a new beginning, but not a new beginning. This is why the Ace of Pentacles here is opposing you, you know, because even though you're seeing this as a new beginning, technically not entirely true, because this is something that you've been planning, something that you've been working towards. And I believe that you have had some information come through to you, possibly some untruths come through to you as well. But I do feel that there is good information as well as some mistakes or lies and Mercury retrograde nonsense that's come through to you that has made you realize, right, not even that now is the time that I do it, but now is the time that I make my choice whether I am going to do it or not. Now, there seems to be a traditional path for you to tread if you are having faith in your dream, in your plan, whatever it may be, that will be incredibly profitable for you. But the whole point of this current plan or situation is, in effect, to expand your influence and give you greater control over your own personal environment. I mean, it's not as if you haven't put the work in, because I rather believe that you have put the work in. But there's an element, oh, what a surprise, Aries, it might be a reading about your career. But there's an element of, yeah, it's time now that I stop doing this. I'm not doing this anymore because I am not getting the harvest. I'm not getting the benefit of what I'm doing now. So it's time for the plan to kick into action. I haven't been receiving enough back for all the work that I've been putting in. At the very same time, we have from the Moonology deck, your commitment is being tested. And then the Queen of the Moon keeps that theme with the Resilience card. So there's, from House of Night, we've got choices. And from the Angelarium, we have Malkut. And from the Angel Oracle, the Angel of Discernment. There's a choice going on. There is a right or a wrong here. I would love to say otherwise, but there is a right or a wrong here. If you are going to take your own power, expand your influence, you've got to use traditional ways of doing it. So once you've decided to set foot on a specific path, it's as if later steps down that path are already all mapped out. You know where you're going to go. You know how you get from A to B to C. It just makes common sense. I get the impression that you believe by taking this choice, there is something that you are leaving, something where you are quite happy, quite happy, but also rather stuck on your own. And although the harvest keeps coming from the work that you are doing, it's almost as if you are not feeling the entire benefit of it. You are still feeling defensive. So the universe, with all these oracle cards, and like I said, there's a definite theme here. Malkut is the kingdom. It's the last Sephiroth before you get to the material world. It's the design, the architecture of the material world. So it's saying, right, do it. If you're going to do it now. Now is the time. It's all right planning and saying one day I'm going to, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Actually do it. And I don't feel that the situation that you are leaving, we've got for the situation that you are leaving, 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Great happiness while being on your own with whatever this plan, whatever you have been doing is. It's been solitary, everything's been relying on you, and you've been quite happy with everything relying on you. And there does seem to be a concern that by taking this choice, by going, okay, that's it, I'm doing it, I'm moving forward, I'm going to go ahead with the plan, even if I have to tell a few white lies to do that, which is something I would say here, avoid. Avoid exaggeration, avoid white lies, be tactfully honest. But the universe is saying get on with it. The happiness that you're leaving is going to a more... I don't think you're going to lose it. I think it's going to change dramatically. Queen of Swords here. There's something that you are choosing to chop off, drop away, but you are being encouraged to use your wisdom to say, right, do I need this? Yes, that's fine. That can stay. Do I need that? No. Pain in the backside, get rid. So the Queen of Swords is very much that that chopping, cutting, separating energy. But I feel really quite warm about it. I don't think that you're getting rid of anything that is bad. And we're going from the Ten of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, so you're on your own, fairly happy, but on your own, to the Ten of Pentacles, where you are combining the practicalities of your life with the happiness aspect that you've been feeling. It's almost like that happiness was more in your mind than anywhere else. And by going from the 9 to the 10, you're grounding that happiness in the real world so that you can remove that constant feeling of being on defense, that constant feeling of not measuring up to your peers, which I have to say is absolute and utter rot. You are measuring up to your peers in this reading. The only other oracle card that I didn't talk about is Plutus with wealth. So, like I say, this is more than likely a career thing, or it's a thing, even if it's bigger than that, like a life direction thing. There's money involved. And what you are doing, money is going to come to you again, being seen by Plutus and the growth from the 9 to the 10. But it's not money that comes with problems. Because what's that phrase? More money, more problems. It can be very, very true, but not here. Maybe not a huge amount of more money, but certainly not a huge amount of more problems either, because there's the grand big new beginning that you may be envisaging by setting off down this path. It doesn't have to be anywhere near as grand as all that. You know, it's not where you're having a big launch night and here's my project and I've got the newspapers and the media here and I'm filming it for my YouTube channel and live tweeting the event. And, you know, it's not like a hi world, ta-da! It's more of a, right, this is the way I'm going now. And there is a lot of new in the act of you actually doing it. There is not such a huge amount of new in the topic of what it is, because I do get the impression with all these sevens, and especially with these two Seven of Swords, that you have been planning, for quite some time. I mean, other people have been nurturing your plans, but they haven't necessarily been able to support you in any way greater than just some guidance. We've got the Five of Pentacles here with Queen of Pentacles. So there's that nurturing energy. It's just been a nurturing energy with someone who's not able to stump up the capital for whatever you're doing, or maybe not able to contribute so much in a material fashion as what you would have hoped, or more to the point, what they would have hoped, I think is more to the point here. So I think you desperately, desperately want this new beginning. But one of the messages in this reading is that's the thing. I don't want this to sound wrong, but I get sick of talking about new beginnings. But there's always new beginning cards. But this is not a new beginning. This is something that has been planned and thought about and dreamt about for quite some time. And you're maybe seeing it as more of a scary new beginning than what it actually is, because, as I said, it's actually been going on for a while. Now, obviously, it will change you. Quite obviously, it will change you, transform you for the better. I do think there's many ways I can read that moon card within the end. So it's the inspiration of the new moon. Like I say, it's not even necessarily I want to do this new thing. It's that I want to do my thing. And I think within a month you should see some blossoming, some effect of your actions, of your choices. And it's more of an that's it. So it's more of an internal transformative experience for you than is necessarily echoed outside of in the world to start off with. But that's fine. That's exactly where it needs to be starting. And although you may be feeling pulled between two different polarities, two different, say, if you're going on to a new job, but there's the needs of the family and the need for you to be present with the family, and a new job will take away some of that time with the family. There are some competing priorities, but I do believe that you will be able to see a strategic way forward. And I'd be lying if I didn't think that you can already see this now. This should hopefully be a confirmation reading for you, Aries. But this is looking really rosy. I'm loving this transformation. I'm loving the fact that this is bringing in a period of time. There's good information as well as some duff, but there is some good information that's giving you that kick to say, okay, I can do this now. And it's there to expand your sphere of influence, expand your responsibilities in a good way. Because that's another thing that I'm getting from this, the Emperor card. It's expanding your responsibilities in a good way. As in previously, I think the way that you could exercise responsibility, I don't want to say has been wasted. I think what I want to say is that there was better ways that you could have been called to exercise your responsibility than the way you found yourself doing day in, day out, day in, day out. So whether that means a step up on a career ladder, you know, sort of from worker drone to manager, or whether that means stepping into a different field of operations like office to distribution or vice versa. You know, there's that element of the responsibilities that will be opening up for you by you going on this new path, new in quotation marks. Those responsibilities you are more suited to use because they are demanding and using more of your skills, talents, than you had had necessarily the opportunity to demonstrate before. So it also means that it's going to be harder work, and there's going to be some of those decisions that make you go, oh gold, I don't even want to make that choice, but that is the role that you have stepped up to do. And also, that's a lot further down the line. I don't think anything like that you're going to be confronted with at any great speed. So that's everything, Aries. So if it means anything to you, comment down below. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And there will be more readings. Go and watch your moon and rising sign. Can't think of what else to say. Oh, yeah. Like I said, comment down below. Cheers.